Hello and welcome to Pop Along RC. Today has not been a good day. So today was the last chance for us to practice running the good old Tamiya Minis in preparation for the Iconic Cup. And it didn't end well. We were in for a typical English summer of racing today, which meant rain and lots of it. When we arrived, it was a dry track and it enabled us to get out and do a little bit of practice, but it didn't take long for the rain to come down. As for me, I had a rough time of it. First run of practice, I think I managed about 20 meters before I clipped the side and broke one of the uprights on the front of the car. The rain got the better of our cars. Grip wise, not an issue, okay? And it's one thing driving in the wet, but when you're driving in the rain and you've got surface water all over the track, it's very hard to keep the cars dry inside. Now, I have taken my car apart. Actually, this is quite interesting. So, if you take a look at this part here, which is the rear end of an M03, it has got this compartment at the back, which is hollowed out like so, and that is where I keep my receiver, transponder and some additional weight just to weight the back of the car. Now, the reason this car is actually designed like this is because prior to the ESC you would have run a normal speed control. You would have run one of these old style speed controls, and they were actually powered by a servo which would move the speed control, and this is where the servo would actually sit in the M03. So in later designs there was no need for a servo back here, and that's why the chassis design of the Minis has actually changed. Today we've got these holes down the side, and what they have done is let in quite a lot of water, and I think my receiver is waterlogged. This is definitely waterlogged, full of water. And I'm just hoping that I haven't also fried my ESC, because with 1 week to go before the Iconic Cup, that is definitely not good. Fingers crossed this all dries out and I can get it back up and running without too much expense. Now, this doesn't just go for me. Mark had a very similar issue. This is AJ's car that he was running, which is the FTX Banzai. Again, this car was running quite well, however we had some issues. What I'm hoping is it is just an issue with this transmitter, and I'm going to be honest with you, this transmitter is the STX2, and this came with my ARM Italian ready to run, and when I first plugged it in I had issues with this. So I took it off the Italian, because obviously the Italian does 70 mile an hour, and if you've got issues with your radio gear glitching at 70 mile an hour, you don't know what sort of damage you can do. However, what this has got is the option to turn the speed down to 75 and 50%. So therefore, I put that on my son's car so that I can control the speed and help him develop his driving. But I think the problems we had with the radio gear transferred across to this car. Therefore, what I've actually got in this split ESC and receiver from the Kershaw Sandmaster ready to run car. Now, the reason I like that setup is it comes with this radio gear, the Synchro, and on the Synchro here you have the option of turning down the throttle and turning down the steering rate so that you can, again, control the speed, and it's a really child friendly, beginner friendly transmitter receiver. So I need to get that in there so it's ready for AJ's next race. I need to get this dry, rebuilt and fixed up. It is worth saying it wasn't a bad day for everybody. There was one person in particular, Alfie, who had his first ever visit to Milton Keynes and his first experience of outdoor touring car racing, and for a first timer he did amazingly well. Like, subscribe and hit the old ding dong bell. Tune in next week to find out how we get on at the Iconic Cup. Mark and I are both super excited, so let's hope we can get these cars back on the road.